What's up, everybody? It's Mon here. Welcome to Rankkng's tier list. You see what the title is going to be: a Teen Titans show power scaling tier list. You'll see the case of the ranking/tiers. I can't wait to go and get into it. Hope you guys will enjoy. Let's go and get it popping. So when it comes down to these tiers, as you see on the screen, they obviously by the name, they're going to be representing the case of the most powerful during the pit stand. So at the bottom we have question mark / no scaling / unknown. Characters around the most strong scaling. They have the best rep of something when it comes down to the matter of scaling at hardcore, what is being said. Then at the same time, we have the case of one of the other tiers that also kind of suggest case of no scaling, but at the same time deliberately just characters who don't have any case of power stand to really be actually in the field with the Titans. In this case, being the type of characters that you would say to them literally in verse to stay at the tower like shit. So that being said, that's kind of where that whole case of talk of characters that will be the most non-central people in the field will go, what is being said. Next, we have fodder. Up form to that were people that could be helpful in some different situations, but mainline in this case we're talking about fighting each other in an even stance of playing field against each other wouldn't really do that much, and are fodder by themselves cases the people. Next we have hero, being the standalone strong form regard of Titans that can bang with the best. They will outdo a great deal of general case villains, but at hardcore are like B to A tier case of matter of heroes. Then Beast Titan are the best of the best Titans, the Titans that really be on one when they really get on, what is being said. Those great A case of matter of Titans, what is being said. And characters that are very relative and contentious with each other. Honorary Titans are the best of the best case of Titans and are the MVPs of their individual teams in a lot of different occasions. Then Titan Goddess should be self-explanatory for who goes there. I'm going to be talking about where I would put the multi-case Titans that you see on the screen in full now, what is being said, and where they would go, as I already have the case of the list coming together, and it's going to stand as the case of the thumbnail, so you guys can get an understanding of that, and then put also some gameplay in the mix. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, time to go and talk about the case of people and all the case of matter tiers. Going back to the bottom with no scaling, being the case of Argent. Argent didn't really show that much in the case of the ending case of the series with season 5. It doesn't really have a strong much case matter of true scaling to her, what is being said. But if I had to probably guess, I probably think you could put her in hero, but consider because she doesn't have any scaling at all truly, there's not really a strong state of actual scaling to really go off of when it comes down to her as a character. Then next for stay at the tower, we have Redhead Kid, aka the kid that is always talking about his blankie and can make sonic shouts with his cries, what is being said. Then we have Timmy, I think is his name, aka the baby with one tooth, what is being said, blonde hair kid, where he will eat all type of non-edible stuff for a baby, you would think, and then can use it as superpower, to be blocking out shots. And then we have case of, I forgot his name. Yes, Silky. Yeah, sorry. It's not necessarily been a minute. Is it because this cube alien-looking bug is always cool to me, but at the same time I'll be forgetting his name here and there in the same sense. But this is just base Silky, aka the case of this Silky. Generally, what is being said, a little bumble. Now this isn't his power. This is standing as his own. Even though I feel like Silky, because Silky is big dog, he'll build a body to him. This is obviously a case of makes it like a joke here with this being said, but at the same time Silky is pretty durable, could chomp her and devour a bunch of cases of things. So I mean, if there were to be a fight, consider, I think that the case of someone like Tim or the case of Redhead Kid to Orange Hair Kid would be the best the case of Silky, but at the same time wouldn't really matter because of the fact that again Silky is here with them being people who can't fight at all. Generally, they would just be at the tower. But we had to shout my man Silky, the GOAT of the Teen Titans. But joke aside from there, what is being said, next we have fodder again, being with the case of Bushido at the end. Bushido is a great case swordsman, martial artist, and that's kind of just it. He just faces this general fodder, just some ninja goons, as being said, and can run it up with case people with different technology, kind of seems like in the last one, and fight against Potomo, but obviously lost to him in this case instance. So didn't matter regardless of that. And Batomo only was able to outdo Robin considerably, but it was an early case Robin, like I'm talking season 1, and Robin has progressed ridiculously from that event. So I would just put Bushido here. And then next you have Jericho, who obviously with his case of mystical capabilities are able to go inside somebody's soul and take it over, like a case of a ghost with the case of looking into a person's eyes. And this would just be a instant deletion of Bushido when it comes down to a 1v1 scenario. But everybody else paired with somebody else, and at the same time their strength and speed will be able to beat Jericho before he could arguably do it. I think Jericho's capability to go inside somebody's soul and take them over is a very mixed bag thing. It's a very situational case move, but I think all around in this case Jericho just couldn't hang with a greater deal of the people, especially in Heroes. With this being said, being more stronger than him, more faster, and having better capabilities contingently to back that off. But on the upper tier, in this case with Hero, you have Gnark, and I forgot her name, pink hair case shorty that could turn into a little fucking diamond statue. Them are going to be together as a duo, and I feel like they could outdo Jericho regardless of whoever gets taken over considerably. It don't only matter if it was Gnark, but at the same time I think they have a great case of teamwork duet that they could outdo Jericho, with this being said, especially standing against someone like Dr. Light, who actually has a case of speed scaling, so they'll be a lot more faster than him, with this being said. Then we have Aqualad's assistant, aka Boy Tramp, aka Gloom Boy, but in this case, it's technical original version. And his strength makes him pair with the fact of how he scaled to a bigger giant person and was actually able, I think, to hold his own and only got defeated when it came down to two other other people. With this being said, I think he would be able to beat them, but kind of contingent as always. Then we have Livewire, or whatever his name is, pink-haired, blue electric Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, like dude, who just with his speed mixing corresponding with him beating a very notorious hardcore villain of electricity, would be able to best them, in my opinion. I think he would just fodder them with his greater case matter of hacks. Then Aqualad himself, with his great Atlantean strength, mixed at the same time his fighting skill and correspond with having an equal plane. He could have some water with him. I think could outdo him. I think only if he had a greater deal of water substance, he would possibly get electrocuted and get knocked out or even to death, with this being said. But I think all around he would best him. Do we have Speedy? Speedy bested Aqualad mainline because there was water and he was able to freeze him in the case of the tournament of Heroes, with this being said, and all these teenage heroes had different capabilities to overdo another. Within the case of the scenario, like Wildebeest only beating Beast Boy because Beast Boy turned into a T-Rex in a very case of small cage, with this being said. But at the same time, he was giving him the wet work, both on, and like they were very contingent, even though Beast Boy was more in the case of really bucking with this man, but again turned to a T-Rex in a very small cage. With this being said, I don't know why he technically did that. I guess it was just really just try to like chomp him and get him out of the way rather than there, but that was not the most smart move by our boy Beast Boy. But still, I think that it's a very contended fight, but I think Speedy beats him overall with his multi-versatile case of bow and arrows, and I think that he would just all-around body him, with this being said. Next, we got Hotspot, who with his great A heating powers, with himself being able to hold his own against Madame Rouge because of that, just because of the fact that she couldn't touch him, but also be able to tag her, put her on her butt here and there, hold a lot more capabilities in the case of fire range, different capabilities, and again, with the case of his heating powers, being able to possibly spurge on some different case of Human Torch stuff. I feel like it disintegrate every capability of Speedy, and or just because of opposite physiology against Aqualad, if he's anything like his comic counterpart, and the fact that he is of the sea, with this being said, as Aqualad was born in Atlantis / underwater, his case of heat resistance would not do the best in comparison to someone that's literally purifying heat by itself. So he would get torched, literally and figuratively. Now, Wildebeest, I feel like would be Hotspot out of durability, in the case of this raw overarching kind of strength, and the capability just to pop off different. Now, I know that Speedy got Wildebeest in the case of his punching arrow, which I feel like was just case of a thing that he could not see from the mix of doing something else. And that just knocked him on his butt. We didn't know if he fully was knocked out, with this being said, entirely, even though considerably him getting lightning strike and getting out of the tournament considerably would prove, best of all, that he was done for. But I think all around, because of him having the now full awareness and taking them on 1v1 style, a different individual case of things, with him being able to strike even good in one different account with different case of people, bang out with Beast Boy, and even though Madame Rouge bested him, he considerably did arguably better for his own physical prowess, what is being said, in comparison to her, because of the fact that, one, his strength corresponded with his brawler case of matter of style, and the fact that he could take a lot of hits. And we all know that Will the Beast is a beast, what is being said, literally and figuratively. I think Hotspot would be the only person that actually could give him a little bit of hurting, because obviously his fire powers, the fact that he could full flame on and burn up his case of sense of body in the mix of trying to even stand to him, and more just heat him down to where he doesn't have any more in the tank. So I think that's kind of a contender fight, but I think most of the time Will Beast would crush him before he could fully outdo him in every case ability. Again, this is a very debatable case since it's a tier for Hero in comparison to like No Scaling, Stay at the Tower, and Fodder. It's just kind of set in stone, but Hero is a very debatable and mix-up case tier. But I think most of the time Will Beast would best him, especially in an even scenario where Hotspot can't just be pulling far range and moving around, heating up, being more and more just a core case of fucking flamethrower each time. You know what I'm saying? Next, we have case of Melvin and Bobby, both being the same, as she needs to have herself be in the same scenario for Bobby to be here, as Bobby is literally her imaginary friend that's conjured out of her mind. So Melvin has to be present for him to even exist, and be at the same time alive / case conscious to even be able to be here. And I think Bobby has shown better case sense of strength than Will the Beast, as I don't think Will the Beast could take on Malva, or Malva, how do you say his name? Is it Jerome Malva or Malva? Jerome Malva. How the fuck you say his name? Big fucking talking big brain gorilla. I think Bobby would smack him multiple times. I think the only way that Will the Beast could beat Bobby is by killing Melvin or knocking her out. But I think Bobby would crack him before he could do so. And I just think Bobby's just too built different for anybody here to really hold that much against. Next we have Panther, Big Bach Woman, who besides Starfire is probably the strongest physical Titan, arguably, what is being said. Considerably, you know, you could argue she's full overwhelmingly stronger than Cyborg, and Cyborg was kind of holding back and wasn't really prepared for the big rock strength of Panther. But I think Panther, with her Panther's claws, and the fact that she scales evenly to Cyborg in the record of physical strength and the multi-case of feats that she did, holding against other people and just being a Goliath herself, I think she would just body all these people here with the case of her wrestling skills, the case of her signature move, and tie with her strength, with this being said. So I think everybody on this tier list until now just couldn't really hang with her the best in this case instance. Next we have Harold. With his battlefield removal, he could literally just teleport everybody here away, even with the fact that his fighting skills not necessarily being non-existent, is not as superb as others. So I think it's kind of mixed depending on the situation, to be able to just blitz people away back to his dimension, or to blitz people to different scenarios. And nobody here has the ability to get around battlefield removal except for Raven, in the case of the opposite of Dick Grayson, in the case of being backwards Dick Grayson, however you say his name, fucking Noxia, how the fuck you say his name, the fucking fifth dimensional imp of Robin. But at the same time, I think it's very situational, which is why I feel like Robin is above Harold here, as he has a great deal of his skills being progressed multiple times over and fighting people of a whole different matter of versatility when it comes down to paw for paw, bang for bang. His tactical and precise thinking, very witty, clever ways of doing stuff, his very dynamic and dynamic martial arts prowess and stamp of being the best in multiple different occasions, I feel like will give him the win. As even people that are way stronger than him, he's been able to pull a great deal of ways to possibly get around them in his own right. And I think Robin could do that consistently, back to back with these people, with his gadgets, his prowess, and being the Batman to the Teen Titans, what is being said, I feel like he just has a lot of strong sense of ways to be able to get around his opposite Titans, what is being said. So, in conclusion, I think that he would be at the top of this tier if it wasn't for Bumblebee. The reason why Bumblebee is up here is because his capability to be stinging people in multiple different ways that they could never see. At the same time, being able to shrink, being very proficient in her own case of matter martial arts. She was able to outdo Cyborg, even though Cyborg at the time, being not as strong as he would later on be in this case instance. In the same time, I just feel like it's a contingent feel with Robin, Harold, and arguably even Panther about how things go. But I think overall, she could just dominate the fight in multi different cases of ways that someone like Robin would not be the most proudly prepared for. Especially because, unlike Bumblebee, a lot of these other people have a lot more simpler ways in the sense of possibly being taken out, especially how similar they would be. And Harold would only be a problem because of his fucking trumpet, and makes case instance of the fact that this man is like outer worldly, beyond a general cuffs of what someone like Robin would be prepared for. So I think that Robin would have a hard time in that scenario. But then Bumblebee would be a mixed thing, because of the pure fact of her being able to shrink and move around in these multiple different cases of ways, what is being said. Then next tier with Beast Titan, we have Moss and Minnows, who should be self-explanatory. Speedsters, they would outdo everybody on the lower list because of speed. No one will be able to touch them, and the only person possibly had the best chance is Harold, but I don't think he could get the best catch on them. And the only way to stop them would be separating them, but nobody here has showcased the most strongest sense of being able to react to speedsters on the same speed level. And we're talking about just pitch-to-pitch power scaling, they upscale with being a higher record of relativistic and just having multi different creative ways to possibly best these people and hit them so many times they can never react or just be bodied with this being said. So yeah, they would get dominated right there. Then Jinx is here, being contingent with them, scaling to other case of matter people of similar scaling at the same time, and then at the same time being arguably, I'm sorry, I sense in my throat pause, being of the case of a character that has very creative ways to get around, and even though not full-fledged being hitting them, at least showed that she was in some sense even in the speed. Even though this person, Kid Flash, which I really love, the case is really who looks sleek as hell within the Titans animation. I really love Kid Flash with all of West, the GOAT. I love his Red Flash S Phil, like case of his mentor Barry Allen, also the GOAT. But Jinx power of bad luck, aka just case of witchcraft like shit, being able to blister and catch up with some even sense of that speed. In this sense, I feel like we at least make her relative in a greater scale to these people, and also just outshining all these people with her capabilities that could be all matter of hex wave with their capabilities. I feel like Mas and Menos, because of possible arrogance, their age makes it possibly attraction to Jinx, might put them off, but I think that's a more contingent fight than anything else, arguably, on this tier list. But yeah, then we have Beast Boy, who being the dynamic shapeshifter that we know he could be, and being so agile, quick on his feet, being smart when he needs to, and having multi-case of creative, beastful capabilities in his own right to do stuff, I feel like we'll just outdo her, especially when he just was big brain enough to outplay Jinx, and simply put, was strong enough in his own right to dominate other kids of people, and only lost the wildebeest, like I said, from being in the case of a small cage and not having the case of open ground they did, and being an even place area. I feel like Beast Boy could outdo her, especially transforming into a greater deal of different animals that could simply put dog the hell out of Jinx if they was really going full out. In this case, I feel like he, because of more consistent speed scaling, could easily be on Bloodlust, staying since a dummy case timing to be able to get on her. So yeah, next we have Terra in base general form. With this being said, we show the capabilities of possibly able to crush Beast Boy and being contingent, but being in character, I feel like they wouldn't want to hurt each other because of having a case of good friendship to love for each other. But I think all around Terra just outdo Beast Boy here. Next we have Cyborg, being in case of his more experienced version, and at the same time a lot more greater aim in the case of matter of his scaling of technology, versatility, experience, things like that. Just having a whole better case of matter of gallery walk of different feats and capabilities, and this is again a very contingent case list, but I think his different versatility, his case of arguable spirit hacks thing, and his just very creative ways of outdoing motherfuckers, and the fact that you even know it was a evil version of Beast Boy and not Garfield Logan, the GOAT himself. I feel like in this case that Cyborg has just shown this raw in the sense of his general being that he is just way too durable and powerful that he could outdo these every case of matter Titan members. Then we have Terra, accompanied with the neutralizer of her system, in the same time corresponded with nervous system suit, aka her being Slade's apprentice suit. I don't know the exact case name for it, but like I said, the case of neutralizer for a case of system and the same time nervous system in this case, allowing her inverse to be able to be helped by Slade against Zerkis people, and she already showcased that she could outdo and considerably fauterize entire Titans, and only out of the case for having second thoughts, being conflicted, and corresponded with being tired from back-to-back overrunning the city, she considerably got outdone. It was also simply the fact that the Titans there were on bloodlusted timing. They were full trying to go up on her and just run her shit, especially with this man Cyborg seeming to just fucking football player. I had to feel like who bolt her, what is being said. So I think that's the greatest shining of the fact that someone like her and one hand could be the most powerful. And again, she was tired, it seemed like, in the grand scope after the entire city being full sieged and every matter of her core being single-handedly stamped on the ground, a full running this shit of the whole city, and over time laying the mark for Slade, and then having second thoughts about it, more and more going around the city for places that you see were places where she had great moments, like taking down bad guys, chilling with Beast Boy, having a lovely time with the Rankkng Titan members, things like that. So I think all around she would best all these people, even herself. Next we have Big Silky, aka Moth Silky, by case of someone like Killer Moth. Now Killer Moth doesn't have to be on top of the Silky, commanding Silky, but Silky is already a beast to be reckoned with. And I think arguably, except for Terra considerably, even though I think it's more the person above Silky here, would be the only person that could really outdo Silky, because Silky's a big ass durability and the same time capability to be able to stun and whack multiple different types. Now granted, they weren't trying to go full out on Silky and hurt him, but I feel like Silky is too big and too much of an overarching threat, especially with the speed scaling to others, to where nobody can successfully actually deal with Silky in the best possible way that they would think to. I feel like the character is just too much of all around a beast in multi different case of ways, to where even if someone got a successful case of combination on Silky, Silky will just be able to eat those and just be able to straight slug it out with any case of person. And all around, I don't think anybody could actually find a way to proudly hurt Silky in the grand scope. Like, it's just a lot of shit that ain't nobody really got as strong, since I feel like a possible capability to best all around. I feel like even if you tried to try to move around Silky and do some different cases, again, even battleground case of maneuver stuff, Terra will be the only best person because of the gravity of her capabilities, being simply the fact that she's a fucking earthbender. She has Slade backing her up, which could help her in the case of strategic systems thinking, and then Ty at the same time that she's very dynamic and all around this regards bruiser case character, that maybe she could flatline Silky with the right case of structure of maneuvers. But all around, I think Silky is just a whole different case of ballpark, a little fucking kaiju that would best agree or deal with all these people. Next we have Kid Flash, who should be simple. Our ginger speedster would just be able to run around everybody in this entire case of tier list, and I just think that he would drop these people more and more consecutively over time with just his speed overall, and I feel like he would just pressure point and outdo Silky in every case of like Silky couldn't hit him, but this man Kid Flash could hit her more than ever in this sense, because in the sense of Silky being a whole different case instance of beast in comparison to everybody else. I mean, in the case of him, I don't know why I was thinking her. What is being said, I was gonna have thought a mix of Silky and Taylor, but still, Kid Flash can hit him more than ever with the case of his speed and mixed with great cunning and versatility as a speedster. So yeah, and arguably, even though this isn't in character, if he was trying to fool Kill, he could vibrate his body through everybody's body and just like off-brand A-Train people more and more as he goes about fighting. So I think that says enough for his skill to kill people, what is being said. So yeah, that's gonna be it when it comes down to Beast Titan. Now we have AmonRa Titan, and now we have Red Star. Now Red Star didn't show that much, but from him having great radioactive gamma radiation powers, being able to make a star out of himself, and at the same time, like, not literally, but I'm saying, like, in the case of bombs, I'm not trying to say, like, on stars with or non-capabilities, being able to breathe in space, fly to a great deal, be a perfect soldier, having combat experience way beyond anybody on this tier list, arguably, except for the original 5 Kismet Titans and considered to be Raven. This man would be a force to be reckoned with, and I just think all around Kid Flash couldn't really find a way to hurt him or do that much to him. So yeah, I think, you know, it would be raps regardless of anything when it came down in comparison to the matter of Kid Flash. Next we have Starfire, who is the most physically strong Titan on this tier list. She's a beast. She has great Kismet flight, versatility for Star Blast, creative Kismet fighter, is nice, but can own you if she wanted to. It doesn't always go full all out, so I feel like she's just contingent, dumbly slugging, embodying people more and more. Next you have Thunder, who being case of arguable god when it comes down to the case of his pack of power, and since their Titans was able to body multi-great deal of the Titans, and I feel like you got a contended fight with Starfire, especially being on good terms and being redeemed. But I think that Thunder is just like a creative bombard of different capabilities that would just build our own Starfire in a greater deal. So yeah. Then we have Lightning, who should be arguably one up than Thunder, who was able to defeat Thunder by himself. And Thunder, even though not trying to hurt his own brother, couldn't do as much in a greater deal to really stand strongly against him all around. Then you have Raven, who should be self-explanatory, being the most powerful Titan, even just in base, all our creative capabilities, battlefield removal, being able at full stop to be able to pause time and move while time is frozen, what is being said, which should give her infinite speed, right at a minimum. She popping with a whole different case matter of creative capabilities, and is big consistent all around every version of the Teen Titans. That Raven is the MVP of the team, the most valuable player, bro. She pops off different, and Lightning, I feel like we don't have a little bit contended fight because of his sporadic capabilities, and kind of like with Kid Flash, but a lot more hardcore. Kid Flash, in comparison to her, she would be too fast for him. In comparison with Kid Flash, be too fast for Silky, him, and then her, Terra, what is being said. Everybody just get bodied, right? So there's nothing that they could do, right? And I just want to make this clear. This isn't like a pin to the dude who made the most powerful Titan from weakest to strongest, but Kid Flash has shown way more capabilities of being way faster than Moss and Minos, I feel like. So I don't know why he put them above Kid Flash, but this isn't tackle him, this is simply my tier list was being said. So yeah, I think after that you just have the case of the fifth dimensional imp, and at the same time Titan goddess Raven, who should be so explanatory. She defeated Trigon. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my army. Love y'all.
I'll help you.